Well, hello, everybody. Araya here, coming to you live from Maui this week. Wow, isn't this beautiful? I'm feeling so blessed to be here for the new year. We've got some fun or exciting things happening with Haleakala and the female white dragon and Tiamat wrapped around the core. Hello, Suzanne. Happy New Year. And I just wanted to share a few things. This is sort of a combination of my live that I do for Invoke Healing, usually on Mondays, and just wanting to reach out and connect with you guys. Hi, Deborah. And share a few things. I got to see a movie the other night called Interstellar. It was put out in 2014. Matthew McConaughey is a key player, and I would really recommend it moving into the next year. We've had some big concepts coming in. Hi, Kayla, good to see you. Over the last year, we've had a lot more showing up, at least in my session work with clients, experiences with our future self coming back to guide us forward. What does that look like? Talking a lot more about 5D as reality, bringing more of that energy in, people starting to experience it. How does that connect to and relate to what we're doing with our 3D reality? How do we move from this reality into that one? Hello, Rosa. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you, ladies. And this is a really incredible movie because even if you don't get most of it, because there's a lot of astrophysics and really high science aspect to it, but I love that science actually catches up to what we're experiencing in the spiritual realms, and that's sort of happening across the board in some areas. So I really recommend watching it because there's a beautiful sequence, and it is near the end. I don't want to be a spoiler on the movie, but there's a section where it actually gets you back to going through a black hole, actually out of the time-space continuum, and being able to insert into a space based on your heart draw, where your heart is desiring to pull you and take you into a place, an insertion point. And we talk about those sometimes in the time-space continuum, in the 3D realm, and having to create a physical structure within 5D in order to experience and connect to, like a bridge. We talk a lot about this concept of being a bridge, and I know I feel like a bridge between realities, between dimensions, and I know a lot of you out there do as well. So this is a really great movie to start conceptualizing or making more concrete in our mental structures what that can look like. What is that potential? And the way that they visualize it with imagery in the film is really incredible because it steps out and gives you this sort of matrix looking aspect to a part of the third dimension, and in that moment it shows where he gets inserted into a specific point drawn by his heart. So that's the key. Love that the heart is always the key, and I love that they caught that in this film, because who knows what spiritual level they're working from, right? They're working from a scientific blockbuster Hollywood kind of thing. Hi, Teresa, good to see you. And what I love about this is the heart led the way. It takes them in. It's the emotion of the human psyche that brings them into a specific insertion point in the time-space continuum. And from there, you can actually see where every moment in time is recorded through this matrix. And you just have to insert into different points to go into different ages of this person that you're trying to go back and see. Maybe it's yourself, right? I know that there's been a lot of work in the last year of actually being able to go into your own time-space continuum, release any emotion, say, from your childhood that's affecting you on a soul level, possibly from other experiences in the time-space continuum, which some have called past lives. I feel like they're all happening concurrently once we step outside that time-space continuum. So it really gives a lot of food for thought and a potential of how to visualize or conceptualize it in our mental framework, because that's the hard part for all of us moving into the fifth dimensional reality. All right, so we can experience fifth dimension and beyond, all these multidimensional things with our spirit body and experiencing what that feels like. But how do we start conceptualizing how to bridge to that point? And how do we get there? And so I love that. And it's a gripping film as well. It's almost 3 hours. And who doesn't like to just watch Matthew McConaughey for a couple hours, right? And the leading lady is also one of my favorites. So I just Google it. You might have to rent it. You might have to find a source online to get it, but it is definitely well worth it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's PG-13, so you can watch it with your kids if you've got 10 or overs. That's how I found it. My son wanted to watch it, and I was like, all right, let's try it. And it ended up really hitting home for me and bringing in these concepts of black holes. The way he gets there is through a black hole, and that's what scientists starting to talk about black holes more and what they really do, about gravity and how it affects being able to communicate through realms. wormholes and bending time. That actually wormholes are just insertion points where you take time and you bend it, and there's a hole there to go through. I know some of you have heard that concept before. How does that relate to teleportation? We've been talking about teleportation a bit in my Dragonheart group this year, and the fact that there's a part of me that remembers how to do it. There's a part of me, a higher self part of me, that remembers and knows that it's possible, that I've done it, and it's just about trying to remember and bring those concepts and abilities through to us here and now. Well, the wormhole concept, bending time, basically takes you from this insertion point to this through a very narrow doorway. That's what teleportation is. So bringing up all these concepts again, because we're moving towards that. 2019 and 2020 are going to bring huge more changes, and I'm excited to see them. I remember last April, and it's very interesting because I just had a reading in the last couple of weeks, and it came in that there's about 15 more months of big shift. And not really remembering back to things I had said earlier this year, but when I talked about 15 months, and then I looked at that information later when I was processing myself after the session like I often do, and I went, oh my goodness, 15 more months is about March of 2020, and that's what had come out. And then I looked back and I said, well, isn't that interesting, because back in the beginning of 2018, I had been feeling this big shift starting, this big wave of energy coming around March, end of March, beginning of April of 2018, and lasting about 2 years to integrate it all. And, well, sure enough, the event was this big thing that globally apparently was well known. I didn't know it till about a week or a few days before the event happened on March 19th, perfectly in alignment with my Dragonheart program that started March 21st. And wow, the things that unfolded in those 9 months going to the solstice, and now what's ahead for the next 15. Pretty exciting stuff. So that's why I want to bring up these concepts. Have you guys start looking at them in a deeper way? What do they mean for you? What does teleportation really signify? What are wormholes and black holes and time continuum? Or being able to go in and out of the time continuum to heal parts of your past and integrate yourself into the now. Because that's really what we're doing. We're bringing all the parts of ourselves that are out of harmony with love, out of alignment, choices we've made that are affecting the soul now, and bringing that together and healing it all. Well, if we heal it in this body, in this lifetime, with this aspect of our soul, it actually can affect all of the spaces you're in quote, past timelines, and make a difference. So I just wanted to bring that up as ideas for you, on how your future self can actually come back and guide you. And this is another really important part of this movie that really steps in as to that concept, that idea. How can our future self come back and communicate with us? If there is no, quote, future self, if our higher self is outside the time-space continuum and it knows future technology, it can come back and start sharing that with you. But we have to desire it, we have to look for it and ask for it and connect to that part of ourselves that knows and remembers it. So just putting that out for your encouragement for this year. I'm excited for 2019. Happy New Year. May you roar. May you bring it in with a roar. May you roar mightily and bring your dragon full self out. And whether you're connected to the dragons or not, I know the angelic realms, I know the Devic kingdoms, I know the feline kingdoms, all the winged lions, they're all starting to show up and be part of a combined group effort, which is beautiful to see and experience as well. So sending this out to everybody, it's all our time. It's our time to wake up, it's our time to remember, and it's our time to help science connect to that as well. Because the more we bring those concepts into the spiritual realm energetically, the more that it's going to be in the massive collective consciousness, and that's going to help scientists connect to it. So whichever realm you're coming from, bring it in, bring it home, more of that you know, your inner soul's knowing. Thank you, Teresa. Happy New Year to you. And that inner soul's knowing that you have, that's going to bring it into the collective consciousness. And that's where big change starts to happen socially, when people don't even necessarily have a spiritual consciousness that they're connected to at this point. We all have it, they're just not connected to it. And by bringing it into the collective, that helps get those ideas more mainstream. So share this out there, get everybody thinking about it for 2019 and then forward to 2020. And I will be broadcasting a little bit more later, hopefully. I'm going to be going up to Haleakala today to do some work. Hi Elaine, Happy New Year. With the female white dragon here under Maui and the volcanic crater and the spirit of the crater here on Haleakala. So probably sharing a little bit about that later into the For the Love of Dragons group. For those of you who don't know me, I am Maria Anra. I have a group for the love of dragons. I'm an energy healer, psychic medium, and life coach, and work with people doing sessions, programs, got all kinds of things out there. Invokehealing.com can lead you to some of that information, as well as the Facebook pages for Invoke Healing and the Dragon Within ebook and CD. So have a great, great day. I love you guys, and happy, happy New Year. Bye for now.